Hey everybody, welcome back in for another video. I'm just going to be talking about this Artel W Black Foundation bundle. Now, this bundle represents like theoretical characters from a Games Workshop series where it's like they're the characters, but they're not the characters sort of situation. And I just want to kind of go through the characters, talk about them, and some of these I really like what they've done, and others I really don't like what they've done. So I kind of want to talk about that, where I think there's some real hits and misses. But it's interesting where, again, there's other sites out there that do models that are different, but the same kind of thing, aesthetic, what have you. But I wish that Games Workshop brought out more characters like this from 40K. In 30K, we get the character series for Horus Heresy, right? Like, they literally are bringing out all the characters from the books. That's fantastic. I love that. In 40K, we get the Demon Primarchs. You get the heads of each faction kind of thing. Some named characters, like Marines have it the best kind, where every single chapter you've got the chapter master, the head librarian, maybe like there's just characters in there that they'll make for the Space Marines. But in terms of a lot of these books, especially if within those books the character dies at the end, then they don't make the models for them, and they never really do, to be honest. And I just think they're such cool characters that even for conversion purposes, one-off things, they actually brought out a box of Gaunt's Ghosts, right? They brought out some of the major characters from the Gaunt's Ghost series. Let's do more of those. Do one-off boxes with characters in them. I think they would sell out. I think people would love them. But we'll go through these because this is a theoretical grouping of the characters from one of my favorite trilogies, the Black Legion books. Now, again, the third book isn't out yet. It's allegedly going to be coming out next year, but we'll see if that actually happens or not. So, quick overview here. Black Legion. Ezekiel Abaddon starts the Black Legion in terms of the timeline. It was the Luna Wolves, Sons of Horus, turns to the Black Legion, right? So that's what we've got now. So I won't spoil anything from the books really, except that, and I don't really consider this a spoiler, like when Abaddon kicks things off with the Black Legion, he needs some sub-commanders, he needs some lieutenants, right? You can't run anything yourself. So these are the characters that represent that first grouping of the lieutenants under Abaddon. Later on, they become kind of more titles where they're like the Master of Ships, the Master of War, what have you. But they get rotated out, people leave, they get lost or die, and kind of, there's only ever, I believe, 4. There's kind of like a Dark Mechanicum representative later on, and it kind of expands a little bit outside that, but for the purpose of this video, we'll say there's 4, right? So the first grouping of them here, and again, this is from these books, so this is the Talon of Horus and the Black Legion book, so this is book 1 and 2 of the trilogy. I cannot wait for that third book, it's going to be so good. So the characters that we're going to go through here represent the Ezekarian. So I've got this page loaded up here. So they have kind of the list of all the characters who have held those positions. And again, you can look into all the different characters, like where they died or what happened to them. But we're going to be focusing on the first set of them, okay? And then I'll be going back to the bundle and saying who's who here, right? So we've got Telemachon, who's my favorite character, who's represented by this dual sword-wielding model there. My favorite one of the bundle. It's so cool. I'm going to purchase that one-off model just to paint for my Emperor's Children because, goddamn, it's amazing. And then the story behind the character, again, I won't get into too much into it, but like the fan art that some people have made, like that's what the character, like in the books, that's what the character like alludes to looking like with the talon feet and everything, the dual swords, and they did a really good job transferring that over to here. Again, that was just fan art, right? So it's just, this isn't an official picture, but from the books, that's what I imagine him looking like, right? And then we'll go on to Lurvine Urkris. So this is a world eater, and again, the fan art, oh my god, like the helmet, like where is the model for this? Like I made another video about some world eater stuff before and said that they need to make like a whole unit of heavy bolter wielding world eaters that just wreck stuff. Like you could have their helmets be massive because they don't move. Like it's just, where are these models, right? So in the bundle, he's represented by this character here, and again, they've got kind of the gist of it with the headpiece behind, but I would cut that off and try and attach it to his head. It's just that drawing is too good, right? That is still a cool model, and I still like that model, but it doesn't scream the character to me. It doesn't say that it's Urkris, right? And especially when you compare Telemachon to his picture to this one, you're like, okay, the picture is cooler, right? So the next character, and probably it's tough. It's like, I love Telemachon so much, but Iskandar is so cool. He's a Thousand Sun who joins Abaddon, and again, you've got the fan art here, and this is a really well done fan art, right? Like, this is, again, exactly how I picture him in the books, right? And the key thing is the Thousand Sun's helmet, right? That comes up about his helmet in the books. And then they've chosen here, who's at the front. He's, again, the axe they got right. I love the axe. And there's a couple accents, like the belt with the books and the tomes and stuff, that they did correctly. But again, that drawing, they missed the mark for me. He should have been helmeted. Like, you should have had a crazy helmet on that character, right? So again, cool model. I do like the model, and there's individually, if you're comparing it, there's some things that they definitely got right. But overall, that one I think is the worst one. I'm very much like, like it's a cool model, but I wouldn't get that model. And then there's no real character things to go over for the next ones, but the wolf there on the right hand side is Kaon's familiar. So when he attacked, well, I guess I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but like the Thousand Suns have familiars, right? I won't get into too much stuff, but his familiar is that wolf, which is this black wolf, right? Then he's got the Thousand Suns, like little add-ons and ribbons and the horn, like this model, perfect. Again, they got the familiar perfect, and they got the sorcerer wrong, in my opinion. But like, man, I want the wolf even. The wolf is fantastic. And the last kind of thing where at first, like, there's another kind of character. There's a few other characters you could consider lieutenants at the start there that are helping Abaddon. But again, they focus on these three, and this is kind of where it starts. So I like that they just did this. So they've got the three characters. The familiar is Nefertari. So Nefertari is kind of a minion of Kaon as well, as much as the wolf is, right? Where again, like, they kind of go over stuff here where he casts some magic on her soul and her body, like does some Thousand Sun things, let's say, and ends up being bound to Kaon and becomes like a servant basically of Kaon. And from the description in the books, it's a Dark Eldar Scourge. Unreal. That's a crazy, crazy model, and it's exactly what I pictured in my head from the books. Like the sword, the wings, every single thing there, spot on. That model, like Telemachon and the wolf, is perfect. So it's tough for me because I love to be like, I'm going to pick up this set, but it's just the two characters. You know, the wolf without Kaon is not really a thing for me. And the Scourge, again, goes with Kaon. So even if Kaon was spot on in that bundle, I'd get the bundle and try and maybe change the head out on the other character. But it's just a cool one-off thing. Like, again, Games Workshop could bring out the Black Legion character box set, right? Like, easily create really cool models for this that people could use as one-off leaders for their different like trader war bands, even conversion bits. Like, it would just leave some opportunities there for some cool one-off things to paint, right? Pick that up for some chaos projects, right? You're basically getting a character from each different legion that you can paint up, right? It's a cool painting opportunity. So it's interesting to me, and it's kind of a one-off thing, but I find a lot of the time that other companies make these imitation, or like not imitation, but like examples of these characters from these books that Games Workshop is not making. So it's not even like you can make an argument being like, well, you know, there's the other model. There is no model for these characters, and there should be. They are the coolest characters, and even though, again, over time within the Black Legion and a lot of the books, like I've got hundreds of Warhammer books, characters die in the books, characters get replaced outright. Like, even bringing out a model for a character that is dead, you just use it as a representation of something else for stat lines or whatever, right? I really would wish that Games Workshop would make more stuff like this, but I don't think they will. The one-off box set, again, for Gaunt's Ghosts was a really nice box and was like an interesting thing. I know people who got it who don't do guard are just like, I love those books though, and I'll paint them up and just display them, right? It's a little display piece. So this can give people that opportunity to try something different. Not that buying a single character can't, but when you get into the books, being able to once you're done, be like, oh, hey, do you want to grab that box set of the characters and paint them up now? Of course I do, right? It's a thing I wish Games Workshop leaned into more. And who knows, maybe in the future they will. But for now, there's other avenues to get models that represent those characters. And I just wanted to show this off because I think that Artel W has some really cool sculpts. And again, I've gotten a handful of things from them. But now is the Black Friday, like Cyber Monday month, where sales, there's a bunch of miniature companies that are doing sales all month. And some of them are going to be coming up where I've slotted away like I'm going to get Telemac on this month probably because there is a sale going on, 15%. It's not a huge amount, but I've wanted that model for probably since they brought it out. I think it might have been 2 years ago. So it's just a one-off thing where I'm like, I'd really like that one character. I'm going to get that thing. So if you're looking to get some stuff, now's probably a good time as well. And let me know in the comments, is there some other examples of this that you found online? I would be really interested to see if there's other Warhammer books out there that there are representations that fans have made of those characters in miniature form, right? I really like that inspiration that the books give you, and I think it really drives you to kind of throw more inventiveness and creativity into your modeling. But again, let me know in the comments what you thought of this bundle, or if there's some other bundles you'd like me to talk about, or other sites that have different things as well. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out so much, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Thanks for watching.